How is it that in this country, generation after generation, you get Black and brown and working class kids to only want working class job, to feel so disconnected, right? To feel so disconnected from community. So what do I want to do about it? So all of the things that you've described is really saying that we have an unhealthy ecosystem, that things are not working. Our schools are challenging, the subways are not working, our healthcare is not working. And so now we need to build a healthy ecosystem. And how we go about building that ecosystem is being very intentional about our priorities, very intentional about our priorities. So let me tell you one of the first things I'd like to do in New York City, and then I'm going to connect the education piece as to why this is so important. Across this city, as I mentioned, for every dollar, we don't make any money. We make less than half a penny. We have so many entrepreneurs. We have barbershops, we have beauty shops, and nobody has ever invested in them and see them as part of the network of care for our young people. So I'd like to do business hubs across the city, not just one, not two, but zip code by zip code, and drop business hubs across the city and bring in our entrepreneurs, those who have 40, 50 years of experience. I was just at Denny Mo's and I did a meet and greet. He's been there for 40 years, 48 years as a business owner, and no one has ever asked him a question about how do you work with the young people? How do you support them? So bring him into the hub. In this business hub, let us give our businesses the training, the skill sets, the coaching, the mentoring that they need in order to grow their businesses and in order to grow themselves and be financially stable so that they can now reach into the community and hire our youth. We have over 300,000 people in this city who have impacted by criminal justice system and they can't get work. So they can either be the entrepreneur in the hub, or more importantly, these businesses can now reach into our community and hire these individuals and hire youth who are in our communities and they feel left behind. They are abandoned. I'm in every borough, especially in the evening time. I talk to my young people. They're sitting on the steps and they're smoking weed and they feel like if they've been abandoned. And so we now have to reach for them. These business hubs will also create opportunity. So when you see young people 18 to 25 to 30, they're still in bikes, they're still in these things, it's because they don't have opportunity. And it is opportunity that has been intentionally stolen across our community and in particular in Black and brown communities. In the business hub, I'm going to bring VCs in there, bring Wall Street. I don't have an issue with Wall Street. I just think that they've been allowed to be vultures in our community, and you need a leader that says enough. Bring the venture capital in there. When the venture capital gives you a matching dollar or $50,000 or $500,000, I will match it. People say to me, Dr. Bartholomew, that can't be done. Well, let me let you know, New York State has been giving businesses matching VC dollars for the past few years. And none of our leaders in our communities has said this to Black and brown businesses. Instead, they give us food pantries, they give us thank yous and proclamations, and we get nothing. So we have not had the opportunity to be uplifted. These VC funds have been done across the country. I've worked in places like North Dakota. I've worked up in California. And so we're not investing in businesses. So the business hubs are critical to developing our community and a healthy ecosystem and really bridging that intergenerational conversation between our youth and our young people. In the context of education, I am your education mayor. I've worked with schools across the country. I did one of the largest audits of Rikers Island before anybody even started thinking about what was happening in Rikers Island. I spent over a year there looking at what was happening around our communities. What I'd like to do is very bold for New York City. I hear you around the questions of curriculum, but guess what? In New York City, it is the poverty pimps. It's poverty pimping that New York City has been using our educational platform for, giving Bloomberg companies $34 million. When Bloomberg came into our schools, they decided that they can just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat off of our schools and off our school contracts. And so the messaging and the work is really not reaching our teachers. It's also a real culture of bullying. Our teachers and our principals want to do this work. It's just the fact that they've not had leadership in this way. We have to be bold now because your children, especially Black and brown children, you're not going to get the AI jobs. Young people are graduating, they go to community colleges. Your community college graduation rate is barely a 15%. 4 years, and it's taken them to get 33%. So it says that what you're doing isn't bold enough and really is not bringing in the STEM and the technology. We need to break that high school model. Every student in high school should have access to mentoring. They should have access to a coach. They should be connected to community organizations, to community gardens, a clear roadmap for their life that says to them, you deserve to have hands-on and you deserve to have, right, this opportunity to really see yourself and be confident in this world. Also, our teachers need it as well. They need an upgrading in their skills in order to really compete in technology. I did one of the largest STEM initiatives in this country in North Dakota. In New York City, when I would come back and I would say to them, you're not reaching our kids, they say things like, oh, we're going to do more standards, we're going to go more of this. They're not doing the work in terms of really creating a hands-on space for our youth and our young people. They just told your students they couldn't bring cell phones to school. I get it that the devices give you vices, but we must now say to children, the cell phone is not just for Instagram, baby, and for Facebook. This is one of the most advanced pieces of technology ever made. You could trade $1 trillion a day on Wall Street, $1 trillion a day from your cell phone. And so those expectations, those low expectations and that low mindset is what's killing you. And so they use your pain in order to hide the truth. And so they just gave a company $20 million to buy cell phone bags. You say, oh, my kids are not learning. I want them to do more things to get off the devices. They bought cell phone bags. They didn't buy jump ropes for girls. They didn't buy art. They didn't buy music. They didn't buy swimming. I'd like to teach 1.5 million children how to swim. How to swim. Swimming is a real equity issue. It also builds confidence. We have so many pools in New York City schools. The boilers are not working, and so the kids can't swim because the water is too cold. There's no plan and there's no roadmap. It's time that you put a leader in place that's really going after the salt of the earth. That's who I am. I'm going after the things that I know matter and that I know matter in terms of communities across this city. Across this city, children are hurting. In New York City right now, no one wants to say that the rate of the most dangerous things for Black and brown children and all children, suicide, picking up a gun and deciding that you want to kill yourself because you feel so disconnected and no one and the services are not reaching you. Suicide. No one is teaching our children any driver's ed. Our children are dying on that expressway out in Long Island. You see them driving on the roads, drug driving, the tickets. All of these things are perpetuating passive violence on children and on our communities, and it is not being intentionally addressed. I want to also say to you that New York City is not poor. We have so much of the taxes, the red light cameras, they are killing us with this, taxing us heavily. If you are a mom dropping your child off in the morning time, you can get 3-4 tickets every week. They design the streets so you can't drop off a child who's disabled. You can't drop off a senior, but you can get tickets. We're not poor. Our mayor and our city council just gave $400 million to renovate Fifth Avenue, $400 million to renovate Fifth Avenue. That money did not go to gun violence and all of the things that you just spoke about. That money went to renovate the doorsteps of Bloomberg, Cuomo, and Donald Trump, wealthy men who want to own all of this in our city. We have a $169 billion capital improvement budget that is on the table for this mayor's race. So they are busy telling us about candidates, oh, free food, free. Keep the people blind, and not address the depth of the issues. And the issue right now is a $116 billion expense budget, a $169 billion. And if people don't get this, I'm a mathematician. When the number of millions get too much to count, we use billions, right? So imagine that, a $169 billion budget that you can now use for birthing centers, you can now use to fix your parks and reinvent your spaces, as Ms. Coco shared. Look at your city. Nothing is designed for youth. Your parks are basically just empty spaces with basketball courts. And if you're a kid, 7, 8, 9, yeah, you can ride the swings. But when I'm 15 and 16 and 18 and 20, there's nothing for them in this city. Nothing has been designed for them. So that's why they ride in the mopeds, ride in the bicycles, right? They want something else. And this city has not been responsive to who they are. So it is time that we took care of our children, win our children back from the guns and the drugs. The
Now,
other,
Dr.
yeah,
B, are we going? I make sure I want to get to affordable housing, and then
yeah.
we're going to get to crime. Let's go to affordable housing.
Housing. Let me tell you how New York City became, you don't have an affordable problem, you have an unaffordable problem. Let me explain to you how it works. I grew up in Harlem. How do we lose Harlem? So most people say redlining. Well, that's one issue when banks have intentionally not given us funding. But the first thing is in New York City, it is your city council members who are responsible for the use of land. Right now, the formula is 80% to market rate and 20% to the city. You and I, the people with the mayor's office, we now have to now say, no, 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 that does not work. So now I want to flip that formula. The first piece of the mathematics is you should not use the income of people from Wall Street and Westchester to calculate affordable housing on Gaillard Boulevard and in Jamaica and in the Bronx where I'm at. How dare you? How dare you say to me that somebody who's a millionaire in Manhattan, right, is someone who's affordable in terms of my income. So that's the first thing. We need to ensure that city council members know that we are looking very closely and you will not calculate affordability based on this. The second thing is 80% has been going to market rate. No, we need to flip that and now give the 80% to what the needs of the city are. 15% should go to veterans. Our veterans are left homeless. Our veterans are left without anything. The other 15% should go to our seniors. They are not getting the set asides. I'm heartbroken by so many seniors who call me and they say, Dr. B, I can't get an apartment. Oh, they said they had one for $900 and it just all of a sudden, every time just disappears. It is lying. They're using to kill us. So 15% for veterans, 15% for seniors. The other 50% should be used to distribute around the needs of affordable housing. In other words, low income. If you're a teacher, I say to people, New York City is affordable if a teacher can afford to live here. If a nurse can afford to live here. Right now, no one can afford it based on their formula. So now you should have a range of apartments and costs. Let's stop them from building these matchbox apartments. I had somebody walk me through an apartment building in Harlem on 127th Street. The apartment, literally, my kitchen is bigger than that. And they're getting $2,700 a month from the city from FERPA from this. No, we have to now prove to us that you're going to lay out apartments that are mixed, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, truly meeting the needs of the people. And let the developer then take the 20% for their market rates. You think that this can't be done? Yes, it can be done. Because first of all, they're going to get a welfare check called subsidies from the city of New York to build. And yeah, if I'm a real estate owner, I'm in the business. I want you to make money in New York City. But if you're in the business of real estate, all they care about is supply, 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 supply. The leader, the mayor, has to now balance that and say, yeah, you don't have supply, but I have the needs of the people. And so we have been literally slaughtered by leaders and using government. And this is important to note, government has been used to steal Black wealth and to steal wealth of people across this country for years. And so these policies are stealing from us. So flip the 80-20, ensure that they're not using the formula for this. And how do I get this? I want to do a quality of life index tool across the city that will very quickly assess for every zip code what is in the zip code, where the parks, where the doulas are, where the service providers, where are the homes, and what's available. For the pastor who talked about home ownership, we can do this very strategically. There are a lot of individuals, they're older now, maybe they don't have family members, but they want to sell their house, and the vultures are now preying on them with this deed theft, just preying on them. We, the city, has to now put the money and the resources in order to address this. And you will not get this from any other mayor. I am fighting for this. Let me just say to you, I've lived in this city pretty much all my life. I wasn't born here. I was born in Grenada. I grew up in Harlem. I own a home in the Bronx. My home is in jeopardy as well. I want to talk to you about this tax lien sale that the city has done, but let me hear your thoughts, and then if I'm on the right page.
Oh, yes, you're on the right page. Matter of fact, we want you to get to that. But our next thing we want to talk about is crime. Crime is a big thing in our neighborhood. Let me do a video. I'm going to put a video up, and then we're going to do.
Hold on the crime piece a minute, because people don't understand a couple of policies that are literally meant to steal generational wealth. So right now in June, right, this mayor's office, They just sold all of our tax debt, all of our tax debts, all of your tax liens, all of your municipal debt. They bundled it up, put it in a bond, and gave it to Wall Street. Mayor Adams didn't have to sign this off. We have a surplus budget. He did not have to do this. They did this silently. We have shadow aggressives in this city. So what does that mean? It means your foreclosure rates are about to go skyrocket across the city, and our communities are not aware of it. And so we're feeling the pain, but we don't know what policies are killing us. So yeah, I'll let you go to the crime piece, but I want to say to people, I'm Dr. B. I read policy for breakfast. There are about 5 or 6 policies right now that are going to weigh on our communities as a concrete block, and it is going to stifle us if we do not put someone in the mayor's office that cares about us. There are people not telling you the truth about the lining up of policies to steal our homes and to steal wealth. And then you can't help your children. You can't when you have nothing to offer them.